One of the questions that I've been getting a lot over the past couple weeks is I want my team to start using AI. What's the first thing I should do? I'm going to make kind of a larger post around that specifically. But in the meantime, I wanted to give you guys some action items as some of you are preparing for audits. Some of you, unfortunately, are still closing year end. And so here's kind of my biggest tip is accountants are well known to just roll things forward, do the same thing as last month, do the same thing as last year. Very rarely do we play outside the sandbox. Once you've built a workbook or someone has built a workbook, that workbook sometimes stays the same for like 5 years, even though the process has completely changed. And there's band-aids all over the place to try and just like get it to work. And so here is my way of saying there's a better way. So I'm going to use a very, very simple example. Fixed asset, roll forward, or I guess this is really a monthly depreciation schedule. But we have 6 fixed assets. We have a bunch of hard-coded depreciation because, I'm sure we've all been part of a company where you literally just copy and paste and it's not even formula driven. It's just hard-coded. And so we're not going to do that today. We're going to say, hey, we're going to find a way to make this better. So the easiest thing that you can do is take an existing workbook, one that maybe is easy, and just give it a simple prompt in Claude. And here's what I'm going to say. Can you please study the workbook and just give me 5 recommendations that you would make to make this workbook better? That's it. I'm letting it understand exactly what this workbook does, and then it's going to come back to me and effectively give me ideas on ways to make it better. So I'm going to let this one cook for a little bit and we'll be back. All right. So it is done now. And here are the 5 recommendations that I made. Replace hard-coded depreciation values with formulas. Yep. Add a percent depreciation or remaining useful life. I can go either way on that. Format 0 values as dashes for readability. That's fine. That's not a big deal. Add data validation for key input columns like this. Yep. I would totally agree. And add a year-to-date column and a summary section by category. I can go either way on that, but sure. So we're going to go through and I'm going to say, let's implement, let's see, 1, 3, 4, and 5. And then additionally, can you help me start to add in a journal entry that gets automatically updated based off of the month close that we're in? So I liked most of them, but a lot of the schedules that I currently kind of work in or have seen people work in, they should have like a JE that links to the information within the workbook that is not hard-coded. So what account should I use for debit and credit? Let's just say, let's debit depreciation, credit accumulated depreciation by category, separate depreciation expense by category. I'm just going to keep it simple. Let's go standard. Let's go drop down selector and let's go below the sheet. Okay. I'm just going to say yes for the sake of this video. As you can see, it's already started to replace the formulas, which is great. It got mad. That's a fun little thing that I found is that it doesn't like when you're in the cells and like editing, obviously. So just be careful of that as you're kind of working through Claude. All right. So it looks like it just finished up. So here's kind of what it looks like now. Looks like it went through and did a category summary, which is awesome. It goes and it did a journal entry, which has like a drop down list. So it automatically changes depending on what month that I did. Like this just makes it kind of stupid proof. So let's actually walk through exactly what it did. So now these are all dynamic formulas, which is great. That's exactly what you wanted to see. All the 0 formatting. So if it doesn't have any depreciation and now it shows as just a dash, so it's like easier to identify. There's data validation here. So now people can't just, and I've seen this so many times, put like F, 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 and E. And so like when you're doing like your sum if formulas here, it like doesn't pick it up because it's, one minor fat finger. Like, man, year to date and category summary. That's all this stuff here. So you can see like the year to date expense, which is interesting because I think this is just totaling up everything. Yeah. So I would probably adjust this to have it be like year to date based off of where we are at, but that's fine. Like that's not a big deal. You could easily do that. And then there's the JE selector, which we looked at already, and you can just have it be dynamic. There's a little check balance here. Like this is perfect. So the thing that I always like to do as well is just, kind of basically ask it to put together a how to use guide. So the next person that comes in, if someone's covering for me while I'm out sick or on PTO, it's just easily done. Is just can you put together a quick page on how to use this depreciation schedule? Put it there, which is not where I wanted, but it's okay. This is like my biggest tip for people is if you're not currently doing this on all of your workbooks, I mean, just for you to better understand kind of how everything works, or your reviewer, but B, like just in case you need to have someone help you out, you're getting busy, just like here's the user guide. Like it's such a no-brainer. All right. So it looks like it went in, did a big old user guide. I'm not going to read through all of these, but basically tells you how to the asset listing, the depreciation grid, any accumulated depreciation or net book value, the category summary, JE, how to add a new asset, and some important notes of what not to do. Again, such a small ask and such a big gain. You can modify this however you want. Yeah. Another thing that I was kind of thinking about as this was running was like, what if you had a prompt in here that you just like stored that every time you needed to like add a new asset, you just like copy the prompt and then added in like the information about the new asset, and then it automatically like added it for you. Again, it's not like hard to add a new asset, but like as you can see, like in more complex workbooks, it might be more difficult to add some stuff in there. So like, why not just like let the AI do it and then you review it? Anyways, I wanted to make this quick video because I wanted people to understand like this is how I would approach getting my team to start using it and how we have been using it at Zeroed In, because this stuff is there's so many different ways that you can go with this that sometimes the hardest part is just starting. And so we're having weekly touch points on like how best to use this. And this is what I've instructed my team to do. So I figured it would be useful for you all as well. But yeah, I hope you find this at least somewhat interesting. Enjoy.